Have you ever really stopped to think about the person standing behind the podium at your boarding gate? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most critical yet often overlooked jobs in any airport, the gate agent. We're getting our insights from a piece by Rob Kennedy in his Av Geek and Resident series, which is all about shining a light on those hidden roles that make air travel even possible. So let's get into it. So let's start with a quick story from the author himself, Rob Kennedy. One day, he went up to a gate agent just to confirm his seat. He was polite, he was professional. Basically, he just treated her with respect. And what happened? He got an unexpected upgrade to business class. That one little moment, right there, it tells you pretty much everything you need to know and sets the stage for what we're about to uncover. You know, most of us just walk right past that podium. We barely even notice it. But a story like that, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is actually going on back there? It's got to be more than just scanning tickets. Let's peel back the layers and really find out. Okay, here's the best way to think of a gate agent. They are the conductor of a massive, complex orchestra. Why? Because long before the first passenger even thinks about lining up, that agent is already wrangling a whole symphony of tasks, completely out of sight. This is where you really see their authority. I mean, they're gatekeepers in the most literal sense. They have to verify the credentials for the entire flight crew. No valid ID, you are not getting on that plane. They control every single person who steps onto that jet bridge, from the catering staff to the cleaning crew. And for us, the passengers, they are the single source of truth for any delays or gate changes. And this is the conductor's real work. The agent is this central hub, right? They're constantly talking to the pilots up in the cockpit, the ramp crew loading bags down below, the airline dispatchers who might be miles away, and customer service all the way back at the check-in desk. It's their job to make sure every single part of this orchestra is playing in perfect harmony. Now, all of that behind-the-scenes coordination leads up to the part we actually see, the boarding process. But don't be fooled, it is not just a simple line. It's much more like a boarding ballet. A super precise, high-stakes performance where, and I mean this, every single second counts. Just try to imagine the amount of multitasking going on here. While they're making announcements for boarding groups, they're also helping a family with small kids that needs a little extra time. As they're scanning your boarding pass, they might be simultaneously untangling a duplicate seat issue and trying to manage the ever-changing lists for standby and upgrades. It is a constant, non-stop juggle. 10 minutes. That's the number. And here's the thing most people have no idea about. That final boarding time, the one that's usually 10 minutes before departure, that's not just an airline suggestion. It is a non-negotiable, federally mandated deadline. And the gate agent is the one who has to enforce it, no exceptions, to make sure that plane pushes back on time. And just when you think their job is done because your plane has pushed back from the gate, the whole cycle starts all over again. Another plane is arriving, which means the agent is immediately back in action. They're securing the jet bridge, coordinating with the crew to get passengers off, meeting kids flying alone, and then resetting the entire gate area for the very next flight. There is literally no downtime. So now that we know what they do, let's talk about who they are. What does it really take to be that person standing behind the podium? Well, it's a role that demands a pretty unique mix of skills and, let's be honest, a whole lot of patience. But first, a really quick clarification. People often mix up gate agents with customer service agents. The big difference is where they are and what they do. Customer service agents are landside, that's before security, at the check-in and ticketing desks. Gate agents work airside, past security, right there at the gate, managing the final, critical steps of departure and arrival. And if you look at the job itself, it's actually a pretty accessible way to get into the aviation world. On paper, you really just need a high school diploma and to pass a background check. But the real requirements, the skills that make someone good at this, those are things that can't be taught. We're talking about amazing communication, the physical stamina to be on your feet for hours, and maybe most important of all, the ability to stay totally calm under incredible pressure. All right, let's bring this all in for a landing. We've looked at the complexity, the immense pressure, and the absolute professionalism this job demands. So let's bring it full circle, right back to our perspective as travelers standing in that line. And that brings us right back to this powerful quote from the beginning. That upgrade, it wasn't just random luck. Rob Kennedy says it happened because he acknowledged the person behind the podium as a professional doing a really demanding job. That little bit of courtesy can totally change the entire dynamic of your travel day. It's that simple. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. The next time you fly, now that you know about the orchestra they're conducting and the constant pressure they're under, what are you going to see behind that podium? Maybe you'll see more than just someone scanning a ticket. Maybe you'll see the true gatekeeper of the skies.